Hello again, Doran Markowitz here from D Guitars Miami with a follow-up video to the last one that I did explaining my Golden Lion guitar. And the reason I'm doing a follow-up is because I recently did some modifications to it that I thought I would showcase so that you would see why I made those modifications. The first thing that I did was I changed out the thumb locking tuners that it had for some self-locking tuners, and the main reason was because, especially for the G tuner, it was really tough to get my hands on the thumb wheel in the back because of how compact the headstock is. So basically these tuners, you pull the string through, you start winding it, and as you're winding, this threaded cap threads down and automatically locks the string in. I've always liked that type anyway, and I especially like the type made by Goto. These are made by Proline and they work very well, and they're about half the price. So I worked on a budget on this. The other thing that I did was I added a couple of switches to the guitar. This one is a series parallel switch to put both pickups in series, and this is a phase switch to put this one out of phase against this one. And the reason that I did that was because since they're both about 6.5K output, it would really sound cool if it was a big fat humbucker when you put the two together. Picture like a Brian May Red Special on steroids, HGH, and Crisco. Big, fat, lush, and greasy, but still with plenty of clarity and spank, which is really, really cool. And that mainly for, you know, soloing to really cut through and have a jump in volume. And then, of course, the phase switch, mainly when both pickups are in series and I put the phase switch on for some of those higher solos that'll really cut through and pierce, you know, like the Bohemian Rhapsody solo. So, let me give you a listen as to what it sounds like now. And I also figured that since I was going to do this and I wanted to demonstrate it with my main jam band type board that I use, I would explain the pedals that I have on it as well. Alright, so you already know these settings. That's the bridge pickup in series. That's the neck pickup in series. This is both of them in parallel. Now, whether the toggle switch is in the middle or at the bridge, doesn't matter. When I throw this series switch, both of them are on. You can hear how big it sounds. Let's give a comparison. That's the two of them in series, and that's the two of them in parallel. You can hear that there's a nice big volume jump when I put it in series. And if I throw the out of phase switch, it's a big difference in sound. It's very nasal. It's not something I would usually use clean, but with distortion, for solos, it rips right through. Alright, and of course each pickup is wired to an individual push-pull pot for its own series parallel features. So, for instance, if I do the neck pickup, and I pull up on the volume, it sounds like a single coil, but both coils are still on, they're just going in parallel now. Same thing with the bridge pickup. So if I put them both together, let's say both of them are in parallel, and now I have basically this one and this one together in series, but they're individually in parallel, you get a nice PAF type of sound. It's not big and intense like before. Let's say I put the neck pickup back in series, this is still in parallel, and they're both in series with each other. A little fatter. Now the bridge pickup is in series, neck pickup is in parallel, and they're both together in series. And then it's a little fatter, both back on, all of them in series. Alright, let me do a quick gear rundown. Basically, I have 5 pedals on this board. My main board is much bigger, and this is the one that I take to like open jams and things like that. It has all my essentials, from right to left. First pedal is a 1987 Dunlop Crybaby that I replaced the board with an original 1968 Thomas Organ Crybaby board. It's got what I consider the holy grail of inductors, which is the little TDK 1143 sugar cube looking inductor. I know a lot of people say Facile this or Stack of Dimes. I've always found the TDK to be the most vocal. And it's a very nice pedal. It's great with solos too. Alright, from that, I go into a couple of first act pedals that I picked up at Toys R Us for like 15 bucks. One is a chorus, the other one is a delay. Both of them sound just as good as anybody else's, and you don't have to pay a huge fortune for them. Remember, I put this thing together mainly to take the jam nights, and I didn't want to really blow my wad on an expensive Boss or even Digitech like on my other board. And here's the chorus pedal. You can hear how lush it is. And here's the delay. What's nice is it's got a level control, so I can actually determine how loud I want the delay versus the dry signal to be. I have it set basically for a slapback with some of the echoing of it, and you can go through the gamut. I mean, it can... the idea. There's a lot of options. Oh, and of course, it's always a good idea to mark off your ideal settings of each pedal, so that, you know, with magic marker like I did here, that way when you put it in the case it can bounce around, the knobs move, and you always know where to go back to. And now my main, you know, push pedal is my Black Star HT Distortion, which has a 12AX7 tube in it. I love this pedal. It is so lush, it's so big, it's so fat, and it has this ISF knob, which basically can get you to tailor the sound from American to British style. I like to leave it in the middle, so that way it's the best of both worlds. You know, picture Vox AC30 meets, you know, Fender Twin Reverb mashed together with a lot of overdrive. And of course, it can be a very noisy pedal, and that's why it goes into a Boss NS2 noise suppressor, which is on right now. Now it's off. Hear the difference? I have the gain set at about 2 o'clock, and I have the level right now at about 2 o'clock. And now the level's at 3. Good for a video. Now, I like my sound to be a little more three-dimensional, so I usually like to keep the chorus on pretty much all the time. And of course, if I put both pickups on in series, if I put them out of phase for some searing leads, just a bit bridge pickup by itself again. Anyway, you get the idea. What I also really like about this board that I put together is that it can pretty much make any amp sound good, including a Gorilla GG20, especially that Black Star. And I really love that Black Star because it's got this 3-band parametric EQ of treble, middle, and bass, so you can really tailor it however you want it to sound. I mean, it's a superb distortion pedal. I can't say enough about it. You can all, I mean, full-on distortion and back off your volume a little, and just the right amount of crunch for rhythms. Anyway, you get the idea. Alright, so until next time, if you have any questions about the mod that I did, the mods that I've done, how I built this guitar, or about my pedals or recommendations for effects, that sort of thing, or if you have any projects that you need work done on, or something that you want to see built, don't hesitate to give me a call at 305-896-1811. Till next time, Doran Markowitz from D Guitars Miami. Thanks for watching and have a great day.